Hi, everyone. My name is Caleb Furness, and I'm coming to you on behalf of Osmosis, which is a medical education platform. And I have with me today Colin, who's a second year at Morehouse. And we're going to walk through the class group that he's helped build and walk through some of the major tools on Osmosis that you guys can study efficiently and integrate your coursework with your preparation for step one. Colin, if you have any questions that you think I should answer, just stop me. Otherwise, I'm going to plow ahead and we can do questions afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So right now I am in the class group that Colin has created for the second year students at Morehouse. You can see that it's indicated here in the URL by, so it says Morehouse Med 2019, and it's also listed here alongside to the left. There are three major components to your class group: the library tab, the lectures tab, and the quizzes tab. Don't worry about the analytics. That's a tab that only I have as an administrator. In the lectures tab, Colin and classmates have uploaded your lecture slides throughout January and even further back into last semester. For every lecture slide that you upload, we provide high yield recommendations from our library in the form of concept cards and quizzes. To get to the concept cards, click the high yield prep button. And that'll take you to our lecture analysis tool, which is housed in the library tab. Right now, we're looking at recommendations from Osmosis's library for this lecture on hemoglobin. And we found a lot of different hits for our database. Our library consists of 3,000 core concepts that are likely to be covered in step one. And they're organized across pathophysiology, normal physiology, pharmacology, and anatomy. Just this one lecture created these recommendations. You can get a sense of what's in every concept card by looking at the thumbnails on the right. For this example, hemochromatosis, we have a video and various quiz questions. So let's open up this concept card and take a look. So every concept card contains three major tabs: a Learn tab, a flashcard tab, and a timeline tab. The Learn tab includes a summary, which is edited and curated by our in-house content team, videos for the pathophysiology and patient experience where available. In this case, the pathophysiology video is one that we created in-house. If you haven't seen it yet, we have an Osmosis channel that has a ton of great videos covering a lot of topics in pathophysiology. These are short, to the point, and really engaging videos that'll cover any key concept so that you can review it at any time and cover key details. Further below, we have additional links. These are to Picmonics, which are visual mnemonics. This is a separate subscription, but is really good for visual learners. We also have first aid references listed here. That'll take you to the exact page where a given concept and related concepts appear. All of these links are clickable and will open up additional concept cards. Lastly, on the Learn page, we have outside references to Wikipedia and Medscape. Medscape will provide a clinical perspective. Wikipedia will give you a broad overview. The point of all these recommendations is to save you guys time managing and finding material. We want you to save time there and use the time that you save to just learn. How do we want you to learn? We want you to read summaries and videos to review content where necessary. But just as importantly, we want you to get in the habit of taking practice questions. In this case, in the flashcard tab of this concept card, we have 24 flashcards from our bank of 13,000 high-yield flashcards. You can add them all to spaced repetition in one shot, or you can add them individually. You can also answer them right here in this interface. When you add questions to your spaced repetition program, they'll be added automatically to daily quizzes starting tomorrow. We'll repeat questions according to your confidence and accuracy. It's a pretty complicated algorithm that takes several factors, but the basic idea is that we're going to repeat questions more frequently if you got them wrong or weren't confident about your answer. We'll also cluster questions according to your exam date. So if you have a renal block exam in 4 weeks, you're going to see a clustered set of renal questions in the week leading up to that exam. The last tab on your concept card is called Timeline. And this will show you every occurrence of the concept in question across the course documents that have been loaded so far. We'll also provide individual links to the slide on which that concept was mentioned. I'm going to open up this slide on a new page and let it load. Okay, I'm going to close out of that concept card. Just to recap, lecture analysis provides high-yield recommendations that matches concepts in our library to terms in your course documents. This is a really good way to do pre-reading, so to speak, before your lecture, and a really great way to review lectures after the fact. And since Colin and a lot of your classmates have already loaded a lot of material, you can do lecture analysis for past semesters also. So in this case, I'm telling Osmosis to show me all of the high-yield recommendations for the month of November 2016. And this is looking at all the terms covered in all the lecture documents that were uploaded during that span of time. And you can see that there's a lot of concepts up for review. Hypertension alone was covered 176 times in 18 documents. So that would be a good thing to review. And again, you can just open up your concept card and go from there. Everything is linkable such that multiple concept cards can be loaded just from here. Okay, let's go back to that original screen that we were on in the lectures tab. I just showed you the high yield recommendations for concept cards. Now I want to show you the high yield quizzes that we're recommending for given lectures. So I get to there by pressing the Quiz Yourself button, and we've identified 10 flashcards that are high yield from our bank that apply to this lecture, and I can build a quiz right here. This is the basic quiz interface that you'll see throughout Osmosis. We ask you to give your confidence and then tell us your accuracy. And we use these two pieces of data to repeat these questions over time. Everything hyperlinked in blue is clickable, and we'll open up a concept card. And in this case, we have a patient experience video and a summary and a couple of other articles and related flashcards. So this is a really important idea to get across, is that, you know, Osmosis is trying to provide ways for you guys to get in the habit of answering practice questions regularly, if not every day. Embedded within all of these practice questions are links that provide you the opportunity to review any core key concept that we've identified. All right, let's look again briefly at the lectures tab. You can see also that there's a option to create your own flashcards. So in addition to the Osmosis flashcards, which are high yield and really going to be relevant for step one, we provide you guys authoring tools so that you can create your own flashcards, and you can access these via these interfaces alongside your flashcards. In addition to those authoring tools, we also have the very same concepts that we recommended in the lecture analysis tool, which you can bring up here. But the important thing to keep in mind in this document viewer is that it's built a lot like OneNote or Evernote. You can annotate and highlight. And of course, you can also create flashcards. The idea here is that you can supplement the board relevant material that we're recommending with flashcard content that you guys create. Writing flashcards is a really great way to engage with material. We call it active learning, and it far surpasses like passively underlining text or rereading passages in your textbook. So to the extent possible, Osmosis is always trying to get you guys into the habit of either answering flashcards or creating your own to answer later. Both of those activities are proven by cognitive science to be optimal for learning. All right, so we've looked a little bit at the at all three tabs, but let's go back into the library tab. So in addition to the lecture analysis tool that we looked at, which recommends concepts based on the terms covered in your lecture slides, you can also browse our anatomy across the major organ systems upon which it's divided. So if I click into cardiovascular, you can see all of the content that we have for it, divided again between pathophysiology, normal physiology, and pharmacology and anatomy where relevant. Anatomy is treated as its own, topic area, obviously. And so for that category in our library, you'll mostly just see anatomy resources like this one, a anatomy concept card. These are really great, and for all of you guys who maybe covered anatomy probably first thing in first year, this is a great tool to use to go back and review that stuff. But the basic idea is that the library tab can be used to get recommendations based on your lecture documents, but you can also browse it independently, like you would any dictionary or index of topics. You can also find concepts using our search bar, and you can type in the sort of lay term, and you'll get the scientific term. So heart attack becomes myocardial infarction, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the lead library tab. A couple of other tools to be aware of in your quizzes tab. In addition to getting lectures matched to an individual, in addition to getting flashcards matched to an individual lecture document, you can also get quizzes matched for a whole span of lecture documents. So just as before with the concept cards, I'm saying show me all of the flashcards that are relevant for the lectures that I had in December. And you can see that there's a lot. So there's 382 flashcards relevant there. And you can build a quiz, answer those questions, and as you answer questions, they go into your spaced repetition program. How do you access your spaced repetition stuff? Use it via this tool. It's called Daily Repetition Beta. And this will basically list your daily quiz on any given day. Every day, Osmosis builds a flashcard quiz of about 70 questions and repeats them according to your confidence and accuracy. In addition to spaced repetition, you can also browse our library of questions via this interface by board topic. And you can look at questions or flashcards. Again, we have 13,000 high-yield flashcards that are going to be relevant to step one. For questions, we have 2,500 board-style questions that are going to be relevant to step one, and then 7,500 board-style questions that are going to be relevant to shelf exams and step two. The preclinical questions are listed up top. The clinical case questions are listed on the bottom, and you can scroll down to get to those. A couple of last things. To keep up with your spaced repetition program, we recommend that you download the mobile app to your phone and keep up with the recommended quizzes, which you can see listed here. This is a mock-up of what the mobile app looks like. This gives you an idea of how you can keep up with your recommended flashcards. There's one last filter that isn't loading for me right now, but it's called Quiz by Course Module. This is where you can take all the flashcards that have been written by your classmates. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. But again, the point here is to, in one resource, provide you a place where you can take your own notes, write your own flashcards, make your own annotations, consume flashcards and questions, do spaced repetition, and collaborate with classmates. And I invite everybody to try it out, see how it fits with your learning style and with your objectives in class. You get 2 free weeks when you create a new account. And we're also running a deal at Morehouse, which I'll give to Colin, and he'll share it amongst the class. That's it for now. If anybody has any questions, you guys can always contact the Osmosis team using the intercom chat in the lower right. It's this little blue bubble-looking thing. And if you have any questions, you can also contact me directly at caleb@osmosis.org. And Colin, unless there's any last questions, I'm gonna let you guys go and get back to class. Okay. All right, I'm seeing a question from Colin. Can you clarify real quick which features are free for new members? Yeah, so the basic deal is that every new user, every new student that signs on to Osmosis gets 2 free weeks of Osmosis Prime, which is our paid subscription. Osmosis Prime gets you access to our library and all the recommendations that you see here. However, you can also use Osmosis for free to upload lecture slides and create your own content. The basic idea is that you guys pay for access to our library, but you can freely create your own flashcards and load documents. And in that sense, it's just like Anki. Does that answer your question, Colin? Pardon me 1 second.